So I'm going to do a little bit more of my my book. I guess I'm on. Well, when I left off last time, I was 8 years old, in 3rd grade, living in Glassell Park, and an earthquake had just happened. So I went to Fletcher Drive Elementary School in Glassell Park for 3rd and 4th grade, and then during 4th grade, some people came to my class, to my school, and asked for volunteers to be bused to a school that had predominantly white children. I guess it was to mix the races, and because our school was overcrowded. So I volunteered. I think there was 5 kids who volunteered to go to this white school, and I don't remember the name of it, but so I was bused my 5th grade year because I volunteered to go. Whenever there was something to volunteer for or some adventure, I always raised my hand and said, I'll do that. So it wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. At the end of the year, I felt that it had been a waste, that I didn't need to go to that school, and that nothing became of it, or nothing was accomplished from it. I didn't make any friends. I don't remember much of that school. So 6th grade, I came back to Fletcher Drive Elementary School, and I remember I had an influential teacher named Mr. Eng, E-N-G-H, and he taught me how to learn, and he also caused me to get some help that I needed. He would write on the chalkboard, and if I was standing near, I would block. And he's seeing, I would make a blocking motion, and he's seeing that there was something wrong with that. So he called my he called the principal, and the principal called my parents in, and they had a meeting, and they said, "Why is your kid guarding?" You know. Well, it was because I was getting beat up, and I needed to. That was how I defended myself. So they were forced to take me to all kinds of doctors. They took me to an orthopedic surgeon, and he said my spine was crooked, and told me to do some exercises, which I never did. And I was labeled hyperactive. You know, I would have been ADD, ADHD if it had been a little later, but it was kind of before all that. So they took me to this one doctor, and the doctors told my parents, get him a bicycle. And that was the prescription that I needed, because I was on that bicycle all the time. They got me a nice 10-speed bicycle, and I rode that thing everywhere. And sometimes I would drive 60 miles a day, and you know, I was doing 200 miles a week easy. I just had unlimited energy. So 6th grade, I went to Fletcher Drive Elementary, and then when I turned 12, I went to a Seventh-day Adventist church, and they asked if anyone wanted to come up and be saved, and I said, "Oh, I'll do that." And so I went up, and my mom she went after she saw me. She went too, and so we were in that church for a while, and the people really liked me, and they saw something in me, and they asked me if I wanted to go to their Seventh-day Adventist school. And of course I said yes, because it was something different, something new. It was an adventure. So I had to take 3 city buses to get from my house to that school. It took me about an hour and a half. I had to wake up I think I had to wake up at like 6 in the morning to be there by 8. And I had to walk a mile, no, I had to walk 2 miles each way. A mile to get to the bus stop, and a mile to get from the bus to the school, and then I had to do the same thing to come home. So it was a long day. It was a long year. So it was a 4-mile walk and three bus 3-hour commute every day to go to 7th grade. And I never thought anything of it. It was just something I was doing. I never complained. I never thought it sucked. Mostly because I thought it was an adventure, and it was fun to walk, and I didn't mind waking up early. And here's the cool thing. All along the way there was paper vending machines, and on a regular basis there was money in those machines. So every day I would come up with a couple bucks just from those machines, because I knew where they all were. And you know, at every bus stop there was some, and there was almost always money. You know, it was very rare that there wasn't some money, and sometimes it was $3 or $4. And then since I got to school a little early, I learned this scam. They had these meal tickets. They had breakfast and lunch tickets, and a lot of kids didn't eat theirs, and I would buy the tickets, and some kids didn't get the tickets, and I would sell them to them. So I was probably making at least $20 a week. And during those times, that wasn't, you know, 7th grade, I was 12. That must have been 74. $20 was a lot of money. So I was a rich little kid. So I made a couple cool friends in 7th grade. Some guys that were just like me, who were just kind of outcasts, and we were like a threesome, and I don't remember their names, but we had a good time, and I felt a little discriminated against in that school. It was predominantly white, and I was definitely brown, so I didn't really learn that much. I was not a good student. And so 7th grade, I went to a Seventh-day Adventist school, and was Seventh-day Adventist. And in 8th grade, I went back to my regular high school, and a junior high school. That was Washington Irving Junior High in Glassell Park. It was right across the street from the grammar school I went to. So I went there in 8th and 9th grade, and that school was 7th, 8th, 9th grade. So in 9th grade, I was like king of the school. And 8th and 9th grade, I had a good friend who was from Peru, Juan Navarrete. And he was a cool guy. We were really close. We did a lot of things together. We would go bike riding together, and we'd do all kinds of fun things. And so 7th and 8th grade was pretty fun, but there was gangs around there, and I got beat up a lot because I wasn't in a gang. And I didn't see the point of being in a gang. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was a follower mentality, and that's not what I was. None of it made sense to me. So I got beat up quite a bit, but I remember that a gang of kids would beat me up kind of often, and I remember I would catch them one on one, and I would beat them up. And so I didn't get beat up so bad or so much because I would do that. I think if I was someone who would just take it, that I would have got beat up more. But they knew that there was a consequence to jumping me, so so I minimized how much I got jumped and how much I was picked on. 7th grade, when I was Seventh-day Adventist, I remember one time being in church, and an old lady came up to me, and she's all, "Would you like to work for me?" And I'm like, "Sure," because I always, you know, volunteer. So she goes, "Yeah, I need help with my house. I need help raking, and gardening and stuff like that, So I'm like, sure, So she told me where she lives, and so I took the bus there. I would go after school and on Sundays, and I would work for her, and I made really good money for a 12-year-old. She treated me really good. She gave me work to do, and I busted my ass. I worked hard for her, and she loved seeing me pick up heavy things and move heavy things. She was so impressed with this brown boy who was just really strong and full of energy, and she paid me very generously, and she fed me lunch all the time, and she had all kinds of fruit trees, so I would pick fruit on her property. She had a mulberry tree. That's the first time I realized I liked mulberry trees, and it was huge and old and had unlimited mulberries. And so Mrs. Schultz, yeah, she was a nice woman. She was nice to me and made it so that I always had a lot of money. So I think I ended up working for her till I got a car, till I was 16. So I worked for her for a good 4 years, and she also referred me some other people. I worked on a horse ranch for a little while. I went to Benjamin Franklin High School, and that was a really good school. That school had some really good people in it, and it was one of the best schools for getting scholarships to go to. I think we had like the highest rate or number of people going to Ivy League schools in the country, or something like that. It was like some amazing school because they had really good staff there. And so I went there 10th grade, and when I was going to school, they came in and they asked if anyone wanted to go get into ROP, Regional Occupation Program. And of course I said, I'll try it. And what it was welding school. So I did that my junior year. My junior year I had a really influential teacher. I can't remember his name, but he was an English teacher, and he taught me how to expand my vocabulary through word etymology. Learning the root words and Latin and all that stuff. So I really increased my vocabulary because of this teacher and what he taught me. And so I would go to that school from first period to fourth period, and at lunch I would get on a city bus, and I would take about a 45-minute bus ride to Central City Occupation Center, where I studied welding. I did that the second half of the day. Regular high school, first half of the day. At lunch, I would skip lunch and take a city bus, and I went to welding school, and I did that the whole year. And I got pretty good. I got close to getting my certification. In Benjamin Franklin High School, they had a lot of opportunities. They had people who found opportunities for the kids, and they exposed me to 2 programs which I applied for. I applied for Upward Bound, or Outward Bound, Upward Bound I think it was, and the Youth Conservation Corps. And I was 15 in 10th grade, and Upward Bound was where you went and lived on a college campus, and they would actually pay you to live there and go to take classes. And the Youth Conservation Corps was where you went and lived and worked in the mountains for 7 weeks. And I got accepted to both. So I remember close to the end of the school year, I had both these places that I could do, both these summer programs that I could do, and I had to choose because I couldn't do them both. And they both sounded attractive. I mean, living and working on living and going to school in a college campus when you're 15 sounded pretty attractive to me, and getting paid. And living and working in the mountains and getting paid sounded really good to me too. So of course, I went with the outdoors, living in the mountains. You know, it's just more of who I was. It was a hard decision though, because there were both some things that seemed really attractive and really great. But I was really glad because between my 10th and 11th grade, it was an amazing summer. 7 weeks in a 7,000 foot high camp with 15 guys and 15 girls, and it was heaven. I was happy. I loved it. It was hard work, but they taught us. It was 4 days of work and 1 day of environmental education, and we had a really cool instructor. He would pick a subject, and then he would take us to learn about that subject. Like one day he picked geology, and we went to a gold mine, an abandoned gold mine, and walked in it. We talked about gold mining. And another time he picked hydrology, and we went and inner tubing on the river. And another time he picked natural history, and we went to a farm where they had animals for the movies, and they had a mountain lion, and they asked, does anyone want to get in the cage with a mountain lion and wrestle with them? Of course I said yes, because that's what I do. I mean, I've always been fearless, you know, and I got in the cage with this mountain lion, and I wrestled with him, and he got kind of aggressive, and he grabbed my hand, and he kind of bit down like that, and I punched him to get him off of me, and they got scared, and then they got me out of there real quick. But I didn't get scared. I thought it was fun. And so we had a lot of adventures. I mean, it was like 7 different subjects that he picked, and he would always make it fun. So that was and then I got paid. I got to live in the mountains for 7 weeks, and I got high school credits for that. So and then I got a lot. And when I went and did my junior year, 11th grade, you know, I went to school half day at the high school, and then took the bus and went to the welding school, and I got a lot of credits for that. I didn't get paid, but you know, I learned a good trade. So after my junior year, I was really close to getting certified in arc welding. I learned gas welding, gas cutting, arc welding, and structural steel and light gauge welding, and I learned symbols, welding symbols. So I learned a lot. It was 1,600 hours of welding school. So so I did that till I was 16, and I also got let's see, along the way I had lots of jobs. I worked in a gas station, and they had a little store. At the end of my junior year, we moved. My dad got transferred. He was a bus driver. He got transferred to a new area, and because there was a new terminal opening up, and they had opportunities for people to go work at this other terminal, and if you did it, it was good. And it was in the suburbs, and my dad found a really cool house with a big swimming pool, and we went and checked out that house. And when we went in there, I went into this room. It had been a living room that they had converted into a bedroom and had a fireplace in it. And I walked in and I said, "This is my room." And my parents were like, "You don't get to decide," but yeah, that's what happened. that was my room. My parents had the master bedroom, and my sister had a little bedroom, and I had a really big bedroom with a fireplace and a walk-in closet, and it was pretty cool. So the swimming pool was amazing. It was a big plot of land. We had a big front yard and a big backyard, and we put fruit trees right away. It had fruit trees already. We had a lemon tree, we had a grapefruit tree, and then we put a mulberry tree, and I forget what else. But we also did I mostly did gardening, and I kept the pool cleaned, and I mowed the lawn, and I took out the trash, and I never minded doing any of that stuff. To me, it was never a bother. it was a joy to keep the pool clean because I was the one who used it the most. And I loved doing it. It was fun. And mowing the grass, I liked having a nice lawn. So yeah, my parents never had to get on me to do any of that stuff. I always enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed having pride in our house. It was a nice house. We had a lot of parties there. We had a lot of pool parties. So when I got to high school, I got involved with some Christian organization, and I did a lot of activities with them. There was a lot of parties and stuff like that, and so they kept me pretty busy, and they came and picked me up and dropped me off. And when I turned 16, well, when I was 15 and a half, I always worked and I always had money. I bought a car. I bought my grandparents' car, and they gave me a good deal on it. They sold me a Ford Pinto, 72 Ford Pinto for $500, and everyone said, "Oh, that's a good deal," and I had the money, and so when I bought that at 15 and a half, and so when I turned 16, my car was waiting for me. So when we moved to Baldwin Park in 1979 when I was 16, and I got a job at In-N-Out and for the summer, and so I started my senior year at a new high school, Baldwin Park High School, and it was a very low academic school, not a challenge compared to what I'd been used to. I'd been used to going to really an awesome school. And I had so many credits from the welding school and from the Youth Conservation Corps and from, busting my ass, that when I got to that school, they said, you only need a few classes to graduate, but you have to come at least half day till lunch, and one of the classes you need is only offered in the second semester, so you have to come for the whole year till lunchtime. And it was so stupid. They made my English first period, and I was not, by this time a senior, I was not into waking up early, so I rarely made it to that English class, and I didn't do so well, and so I only had second period, and then recess, and then third and fourth periods, and then I was done. So it was like whole senior year was just a waste, and I didn't know anyone there. I was hardly there at all. I left at lunchtime, and my whole senior year I didn't do anything. I didn't accomplish anything, and I didn't even get to graduate on stage because the second semester of English, I was there so infrequently that there's no way I could pass. And so I had to go to summer school after. I didn't graduate on stage. I had to go to summer school and take adult ed and make up my... We moved to Baldwin Park in 1979 when I was 16, and I got a job at In-N-Out and for the summer, and so I started my senior year at a new high school, Baldwin Park High School, and it was a very low academic school, not a challenge compared to what I'd been used to. I'd been used to going to really an awesome school. And I had so many credits from the welding school and from the Youth Conservation Corps and from, busting my ass, that when I got to that school, they said, you only need a few classes to graduate, but you have to come at least half day till lunch, and one of the classes you need is only offered in the second semester, so you have to come for the whole year till lunchtime. And it was so stupid. They made my English first period, and I was not, by this time, a senior, you know, I was not into waking up early, so I rarely made it to that English class, and I didn't do so well. And so I only had second period, second period, and then recess, and then third and fourth periods, and then I was done. So it was like whole senior year was just a waste. And I didn't know anyone there. I was hardly there at all. You know, I left at lunchtime, and my whole senior year I didn't do anything. I didn't accomplish anything, and I didn't even get to graduate on stage because the second semester of English, I was there so infrequently that there's no way I could pass. And so I had to go to summer school after. I didn't graduate on stage. I had to go to summer school and take adult ed and make up my second English class. And I did it. I mean, it was just stupid. I did it in just, I think, 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks. I finished it real quick because it was going at your own pace. And when I was done with that, so that was my senior year. My senior year, I had that Pinto when I started, but my dad had this blue pickup. It's in some of my videos, and I went with him to buy it when I was 14, when he got it brand new. And he liked my Pinto because it was better on gas, and I liked the pickup because it looked cool, and I didn't care about gas. I didn't have to go far to go to school anyway. So we traded. We traded my little Pinto for his for the pickup, and that pickup became mine when I turned 16. And at lunchtime, I was done with school, so I'd fill it up with girls every day and go to the local 7-Eleven. And when I came back, I would drop most of them off, but I would usually try and bring some of them with me and say I don't have to go nowhere, so I would try and talk them into coming with me. And we would go to the mountains, or we would go to my house and go to the pool or light a fire in my room. My parents were both working, so you know, I had a lot of freedom when I was 17. So yeah, I turned 17 right when the school year starts, and did a lot of nothing and had some fun, you know, and never thought that I needed a girlfriend because there was just a lot of girls all over. Then I remember the last day of school thinking, uh-oh, there's not going to be women around all over the time, and so what should I do? And I remember this kid said, oh, can you give me a ride home? And normally I wouldn't give a guy a ride home, but he's like, I live right on the way, and you know, and he was like, whatever, okay, I'll give you a ride home. So we're driving home, and he goes, there's my sister, and he honks the horn, and there's a girl walking by, and she was hot, and he goes, that's my sister, she likes you. And I said, really? And he goes, yeah, you should come over and come swimming. And so I did, and she did like me, and so she became my girlfriend. And that was the last day of my senior year. So that was pretty convenient, because there wasn't going to be girls around all the time. So I got a girlfriend, my first girlfriend the last day of my senior year. I mean, you know, I had a lot of girls. I went on a lot of dates, and, you know, I fooled around a lot, but I had never had a steady girlfriend. So, yeah, it took until I was my last day of high school for me to get a girlfriend. And I was with her through the summer. I didn't work. I didn't do anything after I got out of high school. I did my last class, and then I just swam and partied all summer. And then at the end of summer, I broke up with that first girlfriend and got another one. And that girlfriend that I got, the second one, her name was Bonnie. She was a little skinny blonde thing, and that was cool. So yeah, this girl, Bonnie Flippin, she was my age. We were 18 together, and her mom worked and my mom worked, and I had a little car, and so we went crazy on each other. She was a crazy girl, and and I enjoyed the craziness.